Hi everyone, it is me again, the Global Palawenyo Architect, and as you watch this video, we will be tackling about the Gestalt in architecture. So first of all, according to Irving Polster, 1974, from Gestalt Contours of Theory and Practice, we want to hear the story first and let the meaning unfold, rather than to present with expectations a certain significance into which all behavior is then fitted. How are your designs perceived? It is just like a pizza. Everything is viewed as a whole, not as an individual part of a whole. Kagaya sa pizza, hindi siya tinitignan as per slice, but we are looking the entire pizza as a whole. Kung anong klase ba siya, kung gaano ba siya kakapal, etc. etc. And by that, we are looking the entire pizza and not only a slice of it, because we are expecting that a part of it is same with the other parts of that pizza. That's how we see designs in every angle or in every part. Individuals prefer to observe objects from a simple whole and then break it down into more complicated parts. Uh, it's a human nature that most of the time, no, it's not most of the time, palagi na people are observing an object or a design galing sa simple whole or sa simpleng kabuuhan hanggang sa pipiraso-pirasuhin nating tatansyahin kung saan ang magandang part, saan ang maling part, saan ba paano gumanda ang design, okay? Because for example, in a building, tinitignan natin yung building sa kabuuhan kung maganda ba ang building o hindi. Then the next step is to look for kung ano ba yung nagpamali sa building. Yung kulay ba? Yung bintana ba? Yung bubong ba? Yung form ba nung parte ng column, 'di ba? Or we see it what do you call this? Pipira-pirasuhin natin siya after natin siyang tignan sa kabuuhan. Okay? That's how we see designs as compared to the average general public. We see things more complicated, 'di ba? Kasi for the average people who are seeing a design of a particular building, tinitignan lang nila yung kabuuhan. Pero you, as a future architect or as a designer, after seeing the simple whole, after nun is piperaso-perasuhin mo pa yung mga parte ng building kung saan ba siya gumanda or saan ba siya nagkaroon ng flaws. 'Di ba? Next is, what is Gestalt? Gestalt is a German word for form or shape, used to refer to aspect of holism, 'di ba? Aspect of holism ibig sabihin tinitignan sa kabuuhan. Used more generally to refer to the whole nature of something as being the gestalt of something. Architecture is a great example of the Gestalt principles at work. Kasi nga, in architecture, we always deal with the aesthetic side in the form and shape. And together with those aspects, we some features are also contributing to that. Yun yung color, texture, and other features na meron sa designs na nakakaapekto sa visual aspect ng per individual. Gestalt in architecture attempt to describe how people tend to organize visual elements into groups or unified wholes when certain principles are applied. Ito na. we have some certain principles applied for Gestalt in architecture. So we have similarity or symmetry, we have anomaly or asymmetry, we have continuation, we have closure, we have proximity, and of course, the last one, we have the figure and ground. So we have 6 for the Gestalt principles in architecture. So, ito yung 5, no? Proximity. Ano ba si proximity? When objects placed together, the eye perceives them as a group. Okay, that's the summary of proximity. Next is similarity. When objects look similar to one another, the eye perceives them as a group or pattern. Kasi nga, pare-pareho. So kapag pinagsama-sama yung pare-pareho, they can see a single pattern. They see the entire form as a whole. Okay? Compared to proximity, na ang sabi is when objects placed together, the eye perceives them as a group. Kapag pinagsama-sama sila, they form a group na kapag tinignan mo is iisa sila or they are as a whole. Okay? Next is continuance. The eye is compelled to move from one object through another. Parang kumbaga is meron siyang continuity, meron siyang uh, meron siyang direction na pinupuntahan. Next is closure. When an object is incomplete or not completely enclosed, that's what we call closure. Okay? Kagaya dito sa picture na pinapakita, you see the triangle, di ba? Nabuo si triangle because of the incomplete circles. Okay? Kumbaga parang nakapatong si triangle dito sa 3 circles. It's when an object is incomplete or not completely enclosed. 'Di ba? Kasi pure white ang background, then si triangle is white. So, lumitaw itong si triangle kahit na hindi tayo nag-create ng lines to form this triangle. But visually, we could already see the shape of a triangle. So that's closure. Next is figure and ground. When the eye differentiates an object from its surrounding area. So that's figure and ground. Kumbaga, dinidifferentiate niya base sa nakapaligid sa kanya. Kung ano yung kanyang background. Okay? Isa-isay natin. Similarity. Similarity occurs when objects look similar to one another. People often perceive them as a group or pattern. Kagaya nito sa example na to na photo, we see the eagle at the middle, di ba? Pero before that, we could also see the pattern of a sun na tinitignan natin itong logo na ito. Let's say, for example, this is a logo na tinitignan natin as kabuuhan since itong neck ng eagle or ng falcon is similar to the rays ng logo ng sun. Okay? That's similarity. We see them as a whole. Diba? Unless, itong neck ng eagle is medyo mga pa-curve. Okay? So, iba na yon. It's not similarity already. So, let's give some example. Okay? Similarity shape. These windows are not the same. And our eye picks out these differences and groups like shapes. Okay. So, we have 3 windows at the top. Diba? So, the only similar are the sides, which are the left and the right. Ito yung may box na red, no? So, naiiba yung nasa gitna na window. Okay? So, but still, sometimes we see these 3 look similar because of the pointed canopy dito sa yung parang maliit na eaves dito sa sides ng kanilang roofs. So, that's how similarity works. in terms of designing in a building. So next is anomaly. What is anomaly? Anomaly is an object can be emphasized if it is dissimilar to the others. Kagaya nga ng sabi kanina, anomaly or asymmetry. Naiiba siya. Okay? Like for example, dito sa right side photo, we have here the concrete blocks or canopy or concrete facade. Tapos nahaluan nitong parang hindi siya net, sorry ha. Nahaluan siya ng perforated na steel. So this steel are colored yellow and blues. So kumbaga nakita yung anomaly dahil naiiba siya compared dito sa mga forms na nandito or sa material or sa texture na ginamit for the majority ng entire facade or ng entire building. Naiiba siya. So that's anomaly. Sometimes you could use the anomaly when we are giving a focal point to a building or to a facade. Dito na pumapasok sometimes yung mga ibang styles or ibang designs wherein they are using anomaly to project something or some parts of the building that could be a focal point para agaw attention siya. Okay? That's the purpose of anomaly for the Gestalt in architecture. Next is continuation. Ayan. Continuation occurs when the eye is compelled to move through one object and continue to another object. Continuation occurs in the example above because the viewer's eye will naturally follow a line or curve. Ito yung humati sa H, di ba? The smooth flowing crossbar of the H leads the eye directly to the maple leaf. So, kaya siya continuation kasi meron siyang direction. Nahati itong H, okay? We could still see the entire H, na buo siyang H, pero makikita ninyo yung direction or yung continuation ng linya ng maple leaf kung saan dumaan yung maple leaf. Okay? That's the purpose of continuation to give a visual illusion na merong continuation yung isang line or yung isang pattern or isang path to create a design or aesthetic value para sa isang object, most especially when designing buildings and facades. So, perspective lines continue into horizon. Kagaya nito, merong continuation, di ba? This is the Salk Institute by Louis Kahn, no? So, the middle, itong kanyang line sa center is going towards the sea. Okay? Or the view na gusto niyang i-emphasize. So dito natin mga pwedeng magamit yung continuity. So similar to this sa Fort Worth Museum, USA, reflection pool allows architectural structure to continue into the water. Okay? So kadalasan ginagamit ang continuity with the other elements such as mirror, water reflection, ano pa ba, light, no? Ito yung mga elements na pwede nating gamitin for continuity. Kanina kasi yung pinaka-example natin ng una is just a logo. Pero in terms of creating a design na babagay sa isang building or sa isang facade, ibang usapan na yun. Ibang continuation na ang pwede nating gawin. Ibang continuation na yung pwede nating laruin for us to give a wow value para sa design natin. Okay? Kagaya ng sabi ko before, we should not stick in a design na palagi nating nakikita. So, from time to time, we should go back to theory of architecture, particularly in the Gestalt in architecture or Gestalt principles in architecture. So ito yun. Ito yun sila. Okay? So we also have the closure. Closure occurs when an object is incomplete or a space is not completely enclosed. If enough of the shape is indicated, people perceive the whole by filling in the missing information. So kagaya nito, very familiar tong logo na to, di ba? But para hindi masabi na tayo ay nag-endorse, so itong panda na to, itong logo na to is it's not completely done in terms of giving out all the lines na kailangan sa drawing. Kumbaga, may mga blank spaces, but still, we could see the entire logo or the entire figure as a panda. No? Kumbaga, nasa utak na ng nakatingin to formulate or to finish the missing lines for us to create the entire figure na kapag tinignan natin, okay, panda talaga siya. Kumbaga, naiisip natin na buo pa rin siya. Hindi siya kagaya ng nakikita natin na hindi tapos. But still, in the other way, nakikita natin siya na tapos siya na figure or tapos siya na form. Okay? So that is closure. So same with this, no? It's the Indian Institute of Management in India by Louis Kahn also. Two open shapes form a circle. Okay? Uh, the entire facade is made of bricks. Pero there is a closure kasi nga we have two different shapes, no? Two different shapes, the block at the top and at the bottom na dinidivide nitong brick sa gitna. But still, we could see the invisible circle, 'di ba? Kahit na meron siyang division sa gitna, very emphasized pa rin yung circle sa gitna. Okay? Pwede natin maipasok dito yung adding and deduction or subtraction doon sa theory na tackle natin before, 'di ba? So pero dito sa Gestalt in architecture, it's just flat compared sa addition and subtraction na nagdadagdag ng form or nag-recess tawag dito, nag-emboss yung iba, no? Dito naman flat lang siya. Kumbaga, we are pertaining to the visual perception of the viewer or the end users. Okay? So, Church of the Light, Japan by Tadao Ando. And it's a negative space between walls, create a cross that becomes illuminated with natural light. Si Tadao is talagang kilala for playing with lights. So, in terms of closure, ayan, he has created this Church of the Light in Japan. You could also look for other photos sa internet regarding this Church of the Light sa Japan. So, next is the proximity. Occurs when elements are placed together, they tend to be perceived as a group. Proximity, yung pagkakalayo-layo nila. Sometimes, if actually most of the time proximity is applicable for sprawled type developments or in physical planning or in very detailed site development plans na kinakailangan natin ng very intricate at kinakailangan na very wise ang pagkaka-designate ng location ng bawat spaces or ng bawat buildings or ng bawat structures. Proximity will lead you in providing more harmonious design and planning. Kasi nga, yung bawat layo ng bawat buildings could tell if they are related to each another or not. Okay? Kagaya ng sabi dito, proximity occurs when elements are placed close together. They tend to be perceived as a group. Okay? Dito sa kaliwa is medyo cluttered siya. Then dito sa kanan na image, mas intact siya. So, mas whole siya tignan. Mas buo siya tignan compared sa cluttered. Pero, remember also, na pwede ring magmukha siyang iisa or as a group as well, even though they have a wider gaps, no? If it is well placed, no? Hindi yung as in sabog na para lang na sinaboy na kalat, no? Sa kapag tinignan mo yung site development plan. Kaya madalas sa mga design subjects or sa mga design plates or design esquisses, nakikita agad ng mga instructors or professors if nag-rush yung bata or yung student or yung aspirant. It is because hindi masyadong pinag-aralan yung proximity ng design. Hindi ipinasok yung proximity in terms of design considerations para magmukhang buo or harmonious yung design or yung site development plan. Actually, this proximity could also be applicable in creating your floor plans or layouts, not only limited for the physical planning or the site development plan. Okay? So, sa facade, applicable din siya. So, for example, in the Exeter Library in USA, windows are placed equidistant from one another. Also, in the Oval, Japan, doors are placed at different distances away from each other, creating a visual rhythm around the pool. So, we have the figure and ground or figure or ground. Elements are perceived as either figure, element of focus, or ground, or yung background ng figure. Kaya figure and ground kasi we are dealing with illusions also sometimes with figure and ground. Kasi kagaya dito, alin ang figure, alin ang ground. Dito, ang iyong ground or ang background in which the figure sits is yung white. Okay? At ang iyong figure is itong black. Ito yung mukhang chalice. Okay? Ito yung mukhang inuman ng pari, di ba? The chalice. So, that black is your figure and your background is the white. And sometimes, naglalaro. Okay? Pwede ring mangyari na ang iyong background is the black and ang figure mo is yung white. They are both representing two figures when you see the other one, either the figure or the ground. So similar to this, so you could also see the black and the white patterns that creates a figure or a form. So both could be the figure and the ground or vice versa. So that's the Gestalt Principles in Architecture. For the exercise that kailangan ninyong gawin for the listeners is to have a comparative report of these Gestalt principles by stating examples and to see if what are the core features for each Gestalt principles, and then cite at least two existing designs or buildings that can be related to that specific Gestalt principles or to that 6 Gestalt principles. I hope you have learned something by listening or by watching this video, and that's it. That's the Gestalt Principles in Architecture. Again, I am the Global Palawenyo Architect, Architect Jefferson Bulan. Thank you for watching, everyone. See you and God bless.